Hey there, I'm Ryan.
I'm Will, the explorer.
And I'm Ivan.
And tonight, we debrief Race Across the World with some of the most iconic contestants. This is the podcast where we watch reality TV, so you don't have to. Welcome to episode 11 of It's Just a Game.
Yes!
Hello and welcome to episode 11 of It's Just a Game, the podcast where we watch reality TV, so you don't have to. Every week, I am joined by my two favourites, Ivan and Wilf. Hello, Ivan. How are you?
I'm good. You know I'm your number one favourite and Will's your number two favourite, right?
I'll let you fight over that one.
Oh, cringe!
How are you doing, Wilf?
What am I doing? Well, I'm doing a podcast with you.
How are you doing?
Oh, how am I doing?
How are you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm just excited, yeah.
Yeah, very excited. Now, if you're just joining us, this podcast is all about reality games. Every week, we look at the winning strategies, the most iconic moments, and the best drama. Tonight, with a brief race across the world with two of our favourite players. As always, be warned, we are entering a spoiler zone. If you haven't seen series 3 of Race Across the World, go away and come back when you've seen it. If you have seen it, stay here as we welcome our first two guests, Mobeen and Zainib. Together, they went from Vancouver to St. John. In the process, they travelled in style, going skiing in the coast mountains, flying over national parks, joining in rodeos and rafting. With a lot of racing, a bit of discovering, and just enough spending, they were at the top of the leaderboard for much of the race. But an unfortunate final dash had them reach the finish line just 2 hours too late. Today, they tell us all about their adventure, the challenges they faced, and the memories they made. Hello, Mobeen and Zainib. How are you?
Hi guys.
We're good. Thanks for having us.
I'm absolutely buzzing to be doing this.
It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Let's just jump right in because I want to hear about your adventure. It was so nice seeing it. And you had a lot of really strong moments. So I guess my first question is, what was your least favorite moment in this adventure?
So we start off with the least favourite. I think it was when we were stuck in, I don't think it was mentioned, but Takini gas station. That's where we met our, Zainab's friend.
Oh, the murderer?
Yeah, no.
Bro, Zainab just made friends and was like, yeah, we'll stay in your random place. I was like, yeah, you're going to die.
I wasn't having it, but what wasn't shown was we stood in that gas station for 10 hours one day with no luck, and then 7 hours the next day before we got a lift. It was freezing cold, it was miserable, and yeah, I was in a pretty shitty mood.
And that's why you was like, I'm not having my missus going with the murderer. You know what I mean? You're like, she's like, oh, by the way, I got her somewhere to stay, and you're just like,
nah, mate.
what are you doing?
Zainab, when you asked, are you going to murder us, do you think he might have been like, actually, yeah?
Do you know what? I asked it as a joke, like, haha, are you going to murder us? But he was so serious. He was like, no. I was like, that's definitely the reply of a murderer. So I have like that nervous giggle afterwards. I'm like,
So was that your favourite moment, Zainab?
and I don't think it was my favourite moment.
It was the most desperate moment.
What would you say was your favourite then? Both of you.
My favourite moment was probably when we were doing the rafting experience.
Yeah.
In the second last episode, not the last one, but the one before, and we did it was the tidal bore. It was so much fun.
Yeah, there's a funny story behind that one as well, isn't there? Trying to get there. So the ladies I gave us a lift, right?
Yeah.
We kind of not on purpose.
They were a couple, right? And they were trying to like find out where this location was, and one of them was like, check my phone. And so the partner opened the phone, and then there was hardcore porn on it.
No! Oh my god!
It was awkward.
So they were a lesbian couple, right? But it had willies on it, and she was just like, and we were all just like, okay.
It got really awkward really quick.
It was really tense. Like, I was picking up some serious tension between them. And part of it was because I hate to use the phrase, but their entire relationship has been blown wide open.
No, we don't know how to hold this all
I hope
together.
they're still together, but it was like ox.
That is one of the funniest things I think I've heard on this podcast. That is so funny. Just we'll have a look. Like some. Better turn that off.
One of his phone it was just like, oh, not there, don't like there, go on the maps. And it's just like, oh, what?
We were in the back seat and we all saw what was on the phone. It was so bad.
Can't unsee that.
I can just imagine her going through every tab. No, not that one. No, not that one either. No, that one. Hit all four.
Oh shit! Let me just get off my private tabs.
You know when you've got 8 tabs up and one of them is making noise and you can't work out which one it is. So it's like going from one to one.
It's just in the car Bluetooth. The car is rolling down and you can just say,
No, it was the Stay Alive song, I promise.
Honestly, I just wanted to get out of the car at a point, and we were just getting lost, and it just kept on going on and on and oh my god, let's just get on this raft.
I can just imagine her in the front seat being like, no, I swear I'm checking a map. Yeah, it's definitely a map I'm checking. That's how you keep getting lost. She wasn't looking at the map.
Oh,
that's so
we love
funny.
them though. We love them. They were awesome. They got
were
us
so helpful, yeah.
We were getting desperate to get a ride, and they were the ones that came and saved our asses again.
Oh yeah, you lot were lucky, man. You had so much.
We were in luck. I saw your comment, Wilf. You made your own luck in life, yeah.
We grafted. We asked every single person.
Yeah.
Like we didn't stop until we got a ride.
Yeah, we were.
But I can imagine you guys being like that, though. I can imagine you guys just being like, we're just gonna. Well, I'm gonna ask a murderer. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter. I'll ask anyone.
I was going to say, we literally get up in the morning, or whenever we were going to get a ride, it'd become a thing. We've got to work the forecourt. We've got to work everyone. Because you'd get 40, 50 rejections until you got that one ride. So it just became like, I learned, we both learned how to approach it, and it developed. It became a skill in the end. But yeah, it was relentless. We worked hard at it.
Mobeen, you mentioned at one point that your charisma is a skill, like more than just luck. You really know how to use your charisma and personality to get these rides. And you can see you using it to accelerate in this race. Zainib, you too, but Mobeen, you're the one who actually says it out loud. So when did you realize in the race that that was your best technique?
It wasn't early on. I found the whole experience of asking for rides really hard in the first leg, but I don't know. I think we got into the swing of it maybe in the middle legs when it just probably the third one. Or the one after, because the first one was Corey. That I didn't like that, but I think the second one, actually, probably the second one up to Dawson City. I just think that comes down to my line of work. Really, I meet people every day and I meet people in clinic, and I can meet 20, 30 people easily in a day. So you just get used to talking to different people. Everyone's got a different level, a different mood. Sometimes you just got to match it, and that's our job. So I think that helped without realizing.
Like I manage fundraisers. Well, I used to manage fundraisers that do face-to-face, get people to donate.
Yeah.
So and build that rapport really quickly.
Yeah.
And obviously with you guys, you have to build that trust because you're going to give them some kind of either a diagnosis, you're going to give them something they don't want to hear. Do you know what I mean? So it could be, but you have to get yourself onto that level so it's perceived in the way that you think it should be. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So maybe that skill just came in
Yeah.
and helped you guys a lot.
I just like to chat, I guess. I'm loving this, just a little chin wag. Yeah, I don't mind.
So do I, man.
It is his personality. I think he was just born that way as well.
She'd get sick of it. She's like, just ask the question. And stop asking about what food they like. It's just not interesting.
Well, that leads me on to my question, right? So, we live in a diverse place, right, in the UK, and it's such a small country. When you go to Canada, right, it's so big. What was the biggest differences that you noticed across the whole of Canada that made you feel the most away from home?
Oh, there were a few. God, what do you think?
I mean, the food was shit.
And it's going to be really bad because that's going from somebody who's from the UK.
No, but poutine...
Bro, we've got good food. What are you talking about, man? What's poutine? When they said poutine, I was like, what?
Poontang! Poutine!
But we weren't able to buy nice food, so I think that's We probably get
right,
to
yeah.
experience. Yeah, we were living off Nutella and bread.
Well, you wasn't with the two guys. I'm really sorry. I'm really bad with names. The two guys at the beginning, because they had a lovely time with food, didn't they? They're in cats every single day.
I'll tell you what. To answer the question, public transport. It was none of it. Even when we were flying over to Vancouver, we're like, oh, what? Canada, it's going to be easy. It's going to be loads of buses, trains, no problem. And actually, it was the most remote place we'd ever been, and it just had nothing. So that's where I felt we're so far away.
And once again, you know it has to be bad for somebody who's from the UK to think that public transport elsewhere is bad.
As you can tell, Ryan's not from the UK.
One of the most amazing bits in the series with your experience, as far as I was concerned, was watching you as Muslims having some moments where you experienced some prejudice, even if it was just a lack of understanding or a bit of a shock to hear that you weren't Christian. Did you think your religion was going to affect the race? And did it, I guess?
No, it didn't affect the race, like overall.
No.
I think that's a given. But we had that one. I think it's probably the only awkward moment on the table which got shown, and that again was very much an isolated moment because they treated us so well. Like they were really. There were bits where the younger couple, Rachel and Brian, took us to their house. They were quite rich. They had a nice house, had a boat, took us fishing, etc. So they treated us well. But I think naturally you're going to go somewhere new and you think to yourself, is religion, colour going to affect you? So you always have that underlying anxiety, but we didn't
don't really walk around saying, I am Muslim, Allahu Akbar. Like, that's not us.
Yeah.
I loved how you, Zainib, like you tried to make it more as comfortable as possible for other people, because people who have a lack of understanding, what they do is they don't know how to respond. So obviously you were saying you was vegetarian, just for the fact is like you didn't want them to feel awkward about the halal and then the questions, and sometimes it can make people feel uncomfortable, which is wrong, but at the same time it's like the only way people are going to understand is by educating them.
Yeah, I think because they were so heavily focused on religion, it's not something that we would have brought up, but because it was like constant, and I kind of felt like, well, they should know a little bit about us as well. We're staying with them. Why not?
Yeah.
Well, it's very similar. Like a lot of my friends, I said in the previous podcast, like a lot of my friends are Muslim, like a lot of them, and the religion is not that different in certain aspects. Like it's quite similar. Yeah. So when people start to understand that, then people respect it more.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Also, when you say you're vegetarian, you get to experience some nice new meals that you never even know. Have you tried a halloumi kebab before?
Yeah, my wife's Greek, bro. Yeah. I've definitely had halloumi kebabs.
Well, have you ever not had a halloumi kebab?
No.
Well, we're talking about all the people you met along the way, and most of them are really amazing. And I'm thinking, I've just got this memory of Corey, the guy who took you, Mobeen, to jump in the lake along the way. And I think it was a memory of his dog. I just thought it was amazing. All these people, do you stay in touch with them? Like, do you talk to them after the race has ended? Like, how does that work?
So Corey, obviously when we finished the race, there were months went by, we didn't really speak to many people, but with Corey, we sent a few emails. He's properly off the grid, doesn't have a smartphone. And then when the show started coming on, we did a radio interview with a Canadian radio show, and they got him on the phone without telling us. So we had a little phone reunion.
Oh, that's lovely. I
love
that.
It was amazing. It was wicked. And then even better, when we shot that, it was May time last year, literally to the day. He sent us a video last weekend of him jumping into a lake again on his own.
Yes.
I love. There were certain times where you looked like you were so luxurious and so grateful. Like one of my favourite moments was when you was in that RV, and it was such a plush RV, and you're like just sitting there at a dining table at an RV. I just love that. It's like, yeah, these guys are doing it, man. These guys are doing it.
That was wicked. Talk about my favourite. The RV was my favourite. I was in my element going down the Alaska Highway. I could have done that for days and days. I love it.
People on social media have commented about your banter and the way you bicker, right? What do you want to say to these people who don't understand the way you communicate? The thing is, like, I always thought it was quite lovely. Like, when I look at you, I remind, like, me and my wife are the same. Like, me and my wife, we bicker, and we have a go at each other in that, but it's not, it's such a loving place. Like, I know that whatever I do that's wrong, like, and I've done quite a few with Royal Kids in my life, right? Like, she does it to make me a better person, and we're so opposite, but we have the same values.
Yeah.
Is that like you guys?
Yeah, I mean, we wouldn't have done it had our relationship not been strong. Like, I think the people that did it to build upon their relationships, like, kudos to them. I would not have been able to do that.
Well, it showed, didn't it? Like, when we watch it, like me as a viewer, when you look at the people that went there to build relationships, you could see that they had probably more struggles, like Kevin and Claudia. But you guys were just like, yeah, these guys are sick, man. I want my relationship to be as good as these guys.
This is what I want in my life. Like, this is like, they are the cutest couple, but like 100%. In a very nice way. Like, just, it's not sloppy Love Island-y. It's just normal. It's how normal people are in a couple.
I think the way to distill it in my mind is like, you're not scared of saying the thing you mean to each other, but the other one is ready to accept it as not you trying to start a fight, not you trying to like win one over the other one, but be like, to quote Rise and Fall, bit of feedback. You're just ready. You're just ready to like have those uncomfortable conversations as soon as they come up to get them out of the way and to build from it. And like watching that and seeing on TV someone be able to have a disagreement and it not turn into a fight was just absolutely inspiring. It was brilliant.
Oh, mate, thank you. We challenge each other, and I think that's the thing. And we know when to get over it or forget anything that negative that's happened, and we've learned to do that. So naturally. You have a bit of a moment, separate, think about it, and then just kiss and forgive.
You guys are legends, man.
Oh, no, you guys are legends.
Right, this is getting too sloppy. No, too much emotion.
Close the tabs right now. We've been over this.
Right. Not that kind of sloppy, Ryan. I want to know about your forethought, your strategy. It looked like you always had a plan, okay? Now, that may not have been true. There may be an improvisation there. But I want to know from the horse's mouth, what was your strategy? What was your secret to success? Second is good, right? So how did you do it?
We didn't have a strategy per se when we went into it. We just wanted to have fun, right? But we figured out quite early on that the jobs that we pick, they have to be ones where we are around other people and the locals, because they will help us most likely. Yes. They will give us information. So whenever jobs came up where that was an option, we'd always pick that so that we would be around people, and then people would get to know us and they'd be like, oh, love these guys, just want to help them.
Naturally, there were two types of jobs. You get paid cash or bed and board jobs, and I think we went for the bed, we realised that was the option to do, bed and board more often. I think when people allow you into their house, let you stay in, they don't feel like they're spending money on you. That's not too much of a cost.
Yeah.
And then when you get to know them and you speak to them and they get to know us, they want to help you even further. And that's what we realised. When someone's paying you hard cash, it's a transaction. So
that's so smart as well, because apparently there's been psychological studies that show that the best way to make friends with someone is to do them a favour. Like, I only feel like your friend once I've done you a favour. So you got that, and you got so many lifts out of it. It was great.
Yeah.
Like, we always talk about Canadians being like the friendliest people, like one of the friendliest nations in the world. Do you feel that really was the case when you was there?
Yeah, they were lovely, man. They were so nice.
All of them.
We didn't have any bad experience.
So we did have like one awkward experience. Do you remember when we were going off Manitoulin Island, and there was this like really rough looking guy, and I'm not entirely sure how I picked them, but he was there nonetheless. And he seemed really, he was covered in tats and he was like buzz cut and stuff, and I was like, oh, you gonna give us a ride off the island? He's like, yeah, cool, where are you going, where are you headed? And I was like, oh, hold on a wee second, I just need to get like I need to get my bean and stuff. And then as soon as he saw the camera, he switched. He was like, what the fuck? I was like, oh.
Yeah.
And he like started recording us, and then he went away, and then he came back. He's like, get off the island.
So maybe he was going to get murdered again. Murdered twice.
After this, production just went to Zainib and they were like, look, we've given you bear spray. Here's man spray to keep men away.
Links Africa.
Get him away.
He used to like practically sell me when he would ask me to be like, oh, can you give me my wife? Can you give my wife a ride?
Bro, I'd do the same thing. My wife's beautiful. I'd be like, yeah, can you take me? And my wife, look how beautiful she is. Like, come here, babe.
I'll give her a ride in 2 camels.
So we had this thing. We'd say, right, you go for the guys, I'll go for the girls. That was our tactic.
That's very stereotypical, isn't it? It's assuming.
Fair play. You're using the resources available to you. You know how to do it. It's absolutely fine. There wasn't. I mean,
That's why I could never do Race Across the World, because if I went to Race Across the World and I was like with another woman and it was like, okay, you do the guys, I do the girls, we'd only get guys.
That was my worry. That was always my worry.
Sell her all away, Mobeen. Right, so my question is, right, so you're with these other contestants. There's a lot of times where you bump into each other, right?
Yeah.
How did you find competing against them, but also who was your favourites to like socialise with?
Oh, hard question.
We always like bumping into them, to be fair.
Yeah.
It made us feel less alone. We weren't ever like bitter about it. We're just like, yay, party! We're all in this together.
But
who were your favourite?
But we got on with Trish and Kathy the most. I think it just started in checkpoint 1 where when we were doing the activities, for whatever reason, just chance, we sat in the same car when we were going between places. Yeah. And I felt like I didn't get to know Laddie as much as I have on the TV, but again, I used to chat to him loads at dinner and stuff. Maybe it was, I don't know, it was just one of those things. We got on with everyone, but we definitely had a bond with Trish and Kathy.
Laddie was quite sort of reserved, I guess. He's a lovely guy, but quite, I think he
was tired.
Yeah, he was
tired.
I think it was just time, man.
We were just knackered all the time.
But do you think the other people, like Laddie, Monique, Kevin, Claudia, got on because they were sort of on similar journeys?
Yeah.
You know what I mean, like with their dad and daughter. So
yeah. So that would be it. Like Claudia, Monique, I think
they were quite tight,
close, same age, similar interest. Laddie and Kev probably got on. We only ever met Mark and Michael once, apart from the start line at the first checkpoint.
But we got on.
But I got on really well with them, and we just never. Obviously, we didn't get to hang out with them as much.
What I actually liked about the series is when you did bump into each other. So one of the ones is where you guys in the final, you go into this hotel and then you bump into like Laddie and Monique are there. Yeah, and they were like, yeah, we'll give you somewhere to stay to Laddie and Monique. And your face, Monique's face, it's just like, what's going on over there? You're like, you look like, who's that woman? Who are they talking to? And like, your face was the best.
I was just annoyed, man. I was like, nothing's happening. They've got no room. They've got a free one. We're trying to find somewhere. It's going to cost us money. We're having a shit few days.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it just got more intense as you got closer to like the end of the race? Eventually, you remember it's a race as you get closer to the end?
Yeah, the last leg was pretty intense, to be honest, because I think we actually realised there was a part of us that wanted to try and win, actually. And we were running so low on money as well, so there was no time to have a jolly or have fun now. We had to just race, and energy was super low. We were homesick.
Yeah.
So it got really intense.
And to be honest with you, it was the first time, that last leg, where our tactics that had worked so well
didn't work.
Just weren't working. Like trying to charm. So the plan was to go Lunenburg. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. I'm thinking tourist site. This will be easy pickings to find someone.
So we had that job with Kelly, right? But she didn't help us.
Yeah, we were just trying so hard. And it was weird because she kind of was giving indications she'd help us.
No, she wasn't.
No, but she's like, I'll phone a friend. Someone might come through. Or maybe she's leading us down a certain way. And it was like, it just wasn't happening.
She gave us a bloody tuna sandwich for that job that we did. What was the point?
Good food, it was good food.
Tuna bloody sandwich. Greg's is better.
Greg is good.
You struck me as competitive in a good way, but not like necessarily competitive against the other couples.
Yeah.
But there were times along the journey when you'd pass each other on a coach, or like one of you be in a car, and there were just there were occasional times when one of you would wave. Like Trish and Kathy were hilarious at that, but then maybe Claudia would just be like, "Hi." So you could see that there was still like only one team could win. Yeah. Were you disappointed to not have won?
No, I wasn't disappointed in the end.
It's the same, exactly the same. Sorry. I feel it, Wayne, man. I feel it. Like you just don't care. Like I get it. Like carry on. Sorry, man. I know how you feel. Come on.
No, I'll be honest. Like, I wanted to win up until that last car journey. I'll be honest. That moment meeting Brett, it was. I'm not just trying to be cliched with it, but that just blew my mind. Like, right place, right time. It was meant to be in that car then with him. So I wouldn't have won it. I wouldn't have wanted to have been any other way. I didn't want to. I'm glad we didn't go on the other side of the island. The fact that we got to meet him made me feel like a winner.
I remember, like, my experience was I just want to get through day to day. I didn't think about winning until like really late on.
Yeah.
Like, it was just like, let's just get there. Like, was you the same?
Yeah, 100%. Get to the end and we'll see what happens. Let's not get stressed about it and let's just enjoy the ride. Exactly, and that's what we did.
We just wanted to have fun.
You two are the Wilf of your series. You got to the end. You finished the experience. You didn't win, but you saw every second of the content, right? You squeezed it out for all it was worth.
Just want it to last as long as possible.
Do you think you'll go back?
Yeah.
Yeah. In a weird way, we've been Canada, but we haven't really stopped anywhere. We just went through everywhere. We've not got to spend days and days in places. And
But I don't know if we want to now, like, because the whole experience has kind of changed our mentality on how we want to travel.
yeah,
We don't want to go to a resort and just sit and chill in a hotel. That seems really boring now.
Yeah, well, I was going to ask what's next for you guys. What's the next trip? Like, are you going to travel again? Are you going to go hitchhiking again through Canada, or
Not hitchhiking.
what we have done on May the 27th, in a couple of weeks, we are going interrailing across Europe.
Oh, nice.
Love that.
We've booked a single flight back from Istanbul, and we're going to do it over 4 days. So we've got one night in Paris, and then Paris to Budapest, one night in Budapest, and then 2 back-to-back night trains just because we love it so much.
Is it going to feel weird? You look around and there's no camera crew behind you filming you as you stressfully try.
It's so strange.
Yeah, it will be. We'll just do it ourselves this time.
no? You think you'll be traveling in peace, and then all of a sudden you get onto a train and you hear a Scottish guy in the background, a voice you don't know where it's coming from, just saying, "By traveling through, are we missing the joys of journeying?"
Sorry. Was he Scottish or Russian?
I can't do an accent.
You'll get there and there'll be that guy who's followed you. Like, I thought you were staying in my trailer.
Oh, bless him.
Honestly, Zainab and Mobeen, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you.
Honestly,
you.
loved you on Race Across the World. We want to see more of you. Have you got social media where we can just follow you, stalk you, see all about your life, your timetable, when you're outside the flat, the door code, and any location of any valuables?
Only got cats, mate. Just cats.
Yeah, I mean, we started a joint one when it all kicked off on air. What is it, Zainib and Mobeen?
No idea.
It's
think it's
just type our names and I think you'll find us. Yeah, we're on Twitter, all the usual things. Yeah.
What's the ats? How can we find you? Like, what's the ats?
Zainab and Mobeen, Wilf, they said.
If you just type Zainab and Mobeen, how many Zainab and Mobeens are there?
Zainab and Mobeen official, Zainab and real Mobeen. Official Zainab and Mobeen.
Well, honestly, thank you so much for joining us, and I think that's pretty much for a review of Race Across the World with Zainab and Mobeen. Thank you so much, guys.
No, thanks for having us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We love you.
Oh, honestly, they are such incredible guests. Once again, thank you so much, Zainab and Mobeen, for being here with us tonight. We'll be back very soon with another iconic pair as Laddie and Monique join us to tell us all about the journey. As always, if you're listening, give us a 5-star review and follow us. If you're watching, like and subscribe. And if you want to see the beautiful men hiding behind these voices, follow us on social media at itsjustagame.podcast on TikTok and Instagram. Until next episode, I'm Rayan Rashidi. I wrote a song and you can follow me at Maymuller.
Yeah, my name's Will. You can follow me at Wilfred Webster Official on Instagram or just Wilfred Webster on TikTok.
I'm Ivan, and I'm at Zainab and Mobeen on Instagram.
And from all of us here, it's see you next time and goodbye.
Bye.